Okay, so the roof structure has been passed by building control and they've given me permission to cover the roof up. So that being the case, it's just a simple case of put the tiles on, right? No, there's a lot of work to be done before we can get to that point. Firstly, we put the barge boards and soffits on both sides. Should do it all round, but I don't need to at the moment. Then the roofing felt gets put on. Let me show you that. It's not roofing felt anymore, it's a vapor permeable membrane. Well, let's get on the roof, and it lets moisture out, but it doesn't let water in, which is a really good thing. We don't want water to come in. So the way that works is, you see all those little slots down there, that is the inside of the soffit, and that's continuously vented, and the insulation that goes in has a 50mm gap above it so that air can get up and it will escape through a vented ridge. So the also, let's just go down to the bottom without falling off. You might think this is quite scary, but I feel actually really comfortable here. What we also have is this thing, which is a felt support tray, and what it does is just carry the membrane over the gap on the barge board, because, let's just go back to the top, if you follow down but the rafter, you can see that the barge board sticks up just above it. Let's just zoom in on that. See, it sticks up about, well, it actually sticks up 25mm, and the reason for that is that when the bottom tile is on, it doesn't droop down. There are so many roofs, I'm just looking to see whether I can see one locally, no I can't, where the bottom tile is not supported correctly and it drops down below the line of tiling. So we have the battens all nicely spaced out, so that there is a nice little 30mm gap at the top. Why? So that all the moist air that's coming up above the insulation can get out, and that's really important. Just have a sit down. I've forgotten my cup of tea, never mind. And then the ridge tiles, we don't stick them on with mortar anymore. That's how we used to do it. So you'd have a great gob of mortar underneath and then squidge the tile into it and then point up around it. We don't do that now, mainly because building regs say you can't, because if a ridge tile gets blown off, it's a health hazard. If that hit you on the head, it would kill you in all probability, and we don't want that. So what we have are these clips which nail onto the rafters. It's not nailed on that side yet, which leaves a gap here, and then this ridge beam, or extra ridge beam. So we've now got 3 ridge beams. This one, the wooden one, and then a roll of membrane with a corrugated edge that lets air out goes over that, and then these go over that, and then you put your tile down and there's a clip that goes over and you screw it down and everything's wonderful. And it means that the ridge tile is mechanically fixed to the roof, as opposed to relying on the bonding strength of dubious mortar. So if it moves, I mean, roofs expand and contract with the weather, you know, they're really very exposed, which means that the mortar can crack, lose adhesion, and, as I said, a tile could get blown off in high winds, and we are more likely to have high winds with the amount of storms that we're getting coming through. So with a mechanically fixed roof, that is not going to happen, and of course it allows you to have a vented ridge, which is brilliant. So now, having done this, what I do is move everything to the other side and start again, and try and turn around without falling off, work my way back up the roof this way, and when we get to the top then we'll be ready to do some tiling. But one of the things that I've got to do yet is, let's just go down and have a look at this tile. Again, without falling off. Okay, so this is the bottom tile, and as you can see, the roofing membrane just sticks up a little bit. That's kind of intentional and required. And then what I'm going to do next, or part of what I'm going to do, is to have, and you'll see this when I do it, what they call a soaker, which is a piece of lead or lead replacement flashing that is basically an L shape, quite tall on that side, quite long on that side, that's almost the full length of the tile, that goes under this tile and over that one, so that if any rain gets in, it's going to hit the soaker and run away, and that's really important. And then going over the top of that, we have stepped flashing, and you'll recognise that, you'll have seen it on other buildings. And what I need to do now, before I get involved in actual tiling, is to chase out the brickwork to allow for the step flashing. Now, I've never cut any step flashing before, so this is going to be interesting. I've seen a video, so I'm an expert. No, not quite. Another couple of things I've got to do is to move this cable. This is a TV aerial cable, so I'm going to move that, probably have it sneak underneath, because that'll be easy. I don't really want anything going through the roof if I can avoid it. That's the incoming telephone cable, so that's going to get rerouted somewhere, not entirely sure where yet, because this area is totally surrounded by roof, but it's just really inconvenient there. And then again we have step flashing down there, and then there'll be like a little fan of flashing over the top. So yes, there's lots done, but lots to do. Welcome to my workplace. I've said in previous videos that I was really looking forward to doing the roof, and I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying this. I really, really am enjoying this. I mean, it's been hard work, don't get me wrong, and the bruises on the knees and everything will testify to that, but it's just so enjoyable. I really, really am enjoying this. So there we go. Oh yeah, one other thing. You're setting out a roof. There's a tip I picked up from another roofer. The temptation is to pull the underlay really tight, the underlayment really tight. You shouldn't do that. What you should do is just leave a hint of a valley in between the rafters, so that if any water gets in, which it shouldn't of course, it'll run to the middle of the valley and then down, rather than congregating around a batten nail. So that's just one other thing, just a little tip there. Anyway, my phone says low battery, so I better finish this before it refuses to save it and I've got to do it all again.